Thank you everyone for checking out this video. This is Cat on the Back with another video. Um, and before I get started, I want to go ahead and just ask if you like the content that I produce, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel so that you're notified each and every time I drop a new video. Because mainly I do devlogs on the games that I'm working on this channel, and it's just to help me with being consistent with my development process. But also I may take some time out of some days just to play like other indie games and things like that on itch.io and Game Jolt when I get the chance. But like I said, I am working on games in between working a full-time job and things like that, and just basically doing this as a hobby. But first, but this game that I'm working on, I decided to go ahead and work on a new game, and this one is a beat 'em up. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm hoping to have one by the end of the development process, have a name for it. And I never worked on a beat 'em up before. I worked on plenty of platformers in the past. Well, I produced two in the past in just this year alone, and I worked on a shoot 'em up before, but I never worked on a beat 'em up. And for those who don't know what a beat 'em up is, think of games like Streets of Rage, Double Dragon, uh what is the one I used to play? Oh, Riverside Ransom, which I used to love to play back on the NES. Uh, the X-Men arcade game, uh, and the Simpsons arcade game, and the list goes on and on and on. But the main thing is, the main one that I used to love playing was Castle Crashers, and I played the daylight side of that game. Used to love playing Castle Crashers, but this is my first time I ever worked on a beat 'em up. So I'm still learning the whole process of how beat 'em ups work and things like that, the mechanics of them. So I'm taking time to actually learn as I'm going along. But so far in this game, I have the character done. So far, here's my stage. Sometimes I have my player character. I have my little enemy object right here just to play as an enemy little block here to work as the enemy. So I'm using this enemy to test my combos against. So but so far, what I got working so far, I have the player being set up right here because I have a player skin right here, and I'm basically um parenting that skin to this little box right here. Makes not parenting, but basically I'm attaching this skin, which is the samurai, to this little box right here, which is acting as the player. So that's what I'm doing right here when I say start layout, things like start layout. And doing the start layout, pinning the skin to the player, and then also setting the player's position to wherever the skin is. So that's what the P1 is. P1 is the skin and player box, and the player is basically this box here, which is inside of this group called players. I like to use groups just in case I make multiple entities of a single object that has the same thing. Let's say if I make a second two-player game, and I want each player to have similar abilities or similar feature or mechanics. All I gotta do is put them in this group called players, and they share the same similar code, which would be like, let's say, basic movements and things like that. All right, so like I said, I got basic movements set up. Right now it's good. This is going right now. You can go up, down, left, right. Right now it's having so that right here, if left, down, left, right, if up, down, left, right is pressed down. If either of those is pressed down, set moving to true. So that means the player is going to move. Else set it to false, means he doesn't move at all. And then I have it so if both up, down is pressed, both left right is pressed and both up down is pressed at the same time, it sets the movement to false. Then depending on what you're pressing, whether left or right, the player will either move left or right in this he'll be facing left or right, the skin will. And then also set a state to, if you're moving, then you set the state to run. You can already have the state machine set up. If you're not moving, then set it to idle. And also have it so that if you're not attacking, resting, blocking, hurt, or dead, uh, set it to run or either idle. And the reason why in this game I'm adding blocking and I'm also adding resting as well. So that trying to really test it, trying to get a good feel of making block mechanics and resting mechanics as well. Uh, these are the basic movements. Then going into the directional movements, going up, down, left, right, and things of that nature. This is basically just have it so you're simulating the movement where you press up, down, left, right to move in the respective directions. And then you got the state machine here, which handles all the animations. And then you have the attacks, which the attack, like I said, even though I have a combo attack, it sticks in some areas, but it's pretty much going to be just like this. Pretty much, there's an attack. You press spacebar, it'll go ahead and attack, and it'll run through a series of incrementing the variable called player combo. And then basically, as you continue to press spacebar, it will increment player combo by one, and for every time it's increased by one, it does a different attack. And this one, that's where it does the wait right here, where if it's equal to one, if it go to idle but wait 2 seconds. That wait time is the time it takes for me, the time for the player to hit the button the second time. So reason why it's doing this, because during that wait time, it's checking to see, are you going to press anything during that time? If so, move to the second animation. If not, if this animation is not playing, then set the combo to 0. And I did that repetitively for the other ones, and also set on the last attack, which is the one that says finished. If sword 3 is finished, then go ahead and go to idle, and then basically making sure that the player combos does not go above 3. I got blocking set, and I got resting set. Right now, resting, blocking, if you just hold the Z button, basically it just blocks. If you go to the resting, you press the R button, it'll go to rest, and what it will do, it will go ahead and uh it will go ahead and it'll go ahead and have the player go into a rest state for a fixed period of time for 7 seconds, which I know right here it says 10, but it's supposed to be for 7 seconds. All right, so then I got the player hurt and I got the player dead. And then where the combat with the enemy, and all I got on the enemy object, I don't have nothing there as of yet. I don't have no enemies yet put into the game. I don't even think I have a skin yet. No, I don't have a skin yet for the enemy. So right now, only thing the enemy does right now, it just basically just takes my attacks. Uh, it's basically just takes my attacks at the moment, and it takes two, because since I'm doing a combo, I have it so that after he does the first set of combos, the last hit, which is sword 3, which is sword attack 3, I wanted to basically knock him back a little bit further. Basically, I'm just handling knockback effects here, and that's what's happening here. And also, every second I have it so that the enemy moves forward by 50 pixels, and that's it. That's all I have. And then I have the HUD here, which is just keeping track of player health and resting time at the moment, and that's about it. So let me go ahead and do a quick playthrough of the game so that we go ahead and have this working. So we go ahead and I can show you what is going on here. Um, let's go ahead very quickly. Go here. All right. So right now we have it so of a few things. Actually, before I do that, let me show you the block mechanic as well. I'm going to the HUD. I'm going to go ahead and create a new entry here. I'm call this, say this is equal to num2, and set this to, instead of resting time, I want to do player, what is it? Player, actually I think it's block time. Player blocking. And basically just to have it so that I'm showing the player the blocking, cuz I have a blocking, I plan on having a meter for blocking as well. So I want to do, I'm going to take this, put this here, and I want to go ahead and put this to 2, so it shows that so it shows the blocking meter. Now I'm going to go ahead and play. All right, so this is what we have so far. So far we have our block meter, which has just 3. So if we go ahead and block, real quick. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to block. Boom. Okay, you see one thing that happened. It pushed me back, but you also see that the block went down by 1, and does the same if I do this again. I know it's taking a while for this guy to hit me, but all right, so you see it went down 1 again, so it's at 1. So now it's at 0. I can't block again, but I have it so that the mechanic has it so that it increments the block counter by 1. But if you use the block, it doesn't increment anymore. But here's another thing I added here for the player. If you get hit, all right, so now I took damage. You saw this went from a 5 to 2. So now if I press the R key, it goes ahead and rests for 7 seconds, and once it gets back to 5, because it gets back to full health again, then the counter goes back up. Then he gets automatically ends resting, and also then your timer goes back up. Either two things: it's either your timer going to elapse and it's going to end your resting, or you're going to get your health back to full. It's going to end your resting. And then also lastly, then we got the combos, which I told you still working on, but so you kind of see that a little bit. I said I got 2 combos. I got the combos there, and they're working just fine. And I like how they look. I see that the second box does not, the second hitbox does not get the player to go back. Then does not knock the enemy back. But I'll work on that in the future. But other than that, that's pretty much it so far. I haven't really got, like I said, I haven't gotten to the point where I have where I've gotten haven't gotten to the point yet where I came up with a good, like a real good direction. I'm just I'm just coming up with ideas as I go along. But you see that I already had the player already working. In the next video, I'm going to try to continue on working with the character a little bit more, and getting the player to actually behave a little bit better, or get them much more reactive and things like that. Not reactive, but get them functioning a whole lot better. And I may in the next video, I'm going to try to add the skins and the enemies and things like that. Um, but pretty much this is it. This is what I have so far. So like I said, this is pretty much it, all that I have. So I thank you for checking out this video once again. This is the Count in the Back, and I'm working on this is a new devlog on a new beat 'em up game that I'm working on. Do not have a name yet, but I will have one by the end of the development cycle. If you like my content, please go ahead once again, just like and subscribe to the channel so that you're notified each time I drop a new video. And other than that, and also you want to play more games by myself, please go ahead and please go ahead and check out the links below. You'll see my 2 previous games I worked on this year, which is Super Baby and Ninja Go Home. And also you'll see a shoot 'em up game that I worked on, I think, on about 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 8 years ago. Actually, it might be longer than that. It might be 10. But other than that, I do thank you for checking out this video. I will see you in the next one. All right, and peace.